Failure is often misunderstood. Society tends to paint it as something to fear, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is far from that. Every person who has achieved real success, every individual who has built unshakable confidence, has experienced failure multiple times. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is an essential part of the journey toward it. When you learn to embrace your mistakes rather than run from them, you unlock a powerful path toward personal growth. The teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy remind us that the mind is a tool of immense potential, and our beliefs shape our reality. When we view failure as a personal shortcoming, we limit ourselves. But when we see it as a lesson, an opportunity to recalibrate and refine our approach, we step into a mindset of unstoppable confidence. Many people fear failure because it carries a social stigma. We are taught from a young age that mistakes are embarrassing or shameful, and this fear often follows us into adulthood. But confidence is not about never failing. It's about how you respond when you do. Each setback provides valuable insight. Each moment of struggle teaches a lesson that cannot be learned in success alone. By embracing mistakes, we train our minds to see obstacles not as dead ends, but as stepping stones. Dr. Joseph Murphy often emphasized the power of our subconscious beliefs in shaping our experiences. When we internalize failure as a positive teacher rather than a reflection of our worth, we reprogram our subconscious to seek growth rather than avoidance. This shift in perspective is transformative because it allows us to take action without the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. Real-life examples abound of individuals who turned failure into triumph. Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," understood that persistence in the face of repeated setbacks was the key to invention and achievement. Similarly, everyday people face challenges in careers, relationships, and personal goals. The difference between those who grow and those who stagnate is not talent or luck, it's mindset. By embracing failure as an integral part of the learning process, you begin to cultivate resilience, courage, and a deeper sense of self-belief. Inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy's principles, you can consciously train your mind to focus on opportunities rather than shortcomings, to see each mistake as feedback rather than defeat, and to move forward with unwavering determination. Ultimately, learning to accept failure is learning to accept yourself. Confidence built on denial or avoidance is fragile. True confidence comes from knowing that even when you stumble, you have the strength, knowledge, and mindset to rise stronger than before. By understanding the role failure plays in growth, you begin to transform every setback into a launchpad for success. This perspective does not just change outcomes, it changes your life. You no longer fear failure, you welcome it, knowing it is guiding you to the next level of your personal and professional journey. Inspired by the timeless wisdom of Dr. Joseph Murphy, this approach turns mistakes into powerful tools for growth, creating a mindset that cannot be shaken, a confidence that is unstoppable. Turning failure into confidence is not just a mindset. It's a deliberate practice that anyone can develop. The first step is learning to separate your actions from your identity. Many people tie their self-worth directly to their successes or failures, thinking that one mistake defines who they are. This is a trap. When you make a mistake, you are not a failure. You simply took action, learned something new, and now have valuable information to move forward. Dr. Joseph Murphy often spoke about the incredible power of belief, emphasizing that what we repeatedly tell ourselves becomes our reality. By consciously affirming that mistakes are learning opportunities rather than evidence of inadequacy, you start to condition your subconscious mind to view failure as a tool for growth. This is a profound shift, because once your mind no longer fears failure, your actions become bolder, your creativity becomes freer, and your confidence begins to expand naturally. The next step is reflection. Every setback carries a lesson, but the lesson is only uncovered if you pause and examine the situation. Ask yourself, what could I do differently next time? What did this experience teach me about myself, my choices, or my approach? Reflecting in this way transforms failure into a guidepost. It's not about dwelling on the mistake or punishing yourself. It's about gathering insight. For example, if you applied for a job and were turned down, the failure is not in the rejection itself, but in the opportunity to improve your resume, sharpen your interview skills, or better understand what the employer was seeking. By seeing failure as feedback rather than defeat, you turn each setback into a stepping stone for your next attempt. This approach aligns with Dr. Joseph Murphy's principles, which highlight that clarity of thought and positive mental conditioning can redirect your experiences and outcomes. Another critical step in building unstoppable confidence is taking calculated risks despite the possibility of failure. People often wait for perfect conditions or absolute certainty before acting, but in reality, confidence is built through action, not hesitation. Every time you step into uncertainty and embrace the chance of failure, you strengthen your resilience and reinforce your belief in your abilities. Think of it as mental weightlifting. Each challenge you face and recover from makes you stronger, more adaptable, and more self-assured. Dr. Joseph Murphy inspired countless individuals to harness the power of their subconscious mind, teaching that repeated positive reinforcement, visualization, and affirmations can prepare the mind to handle obstacles with courage and poise. By integrating these practices into your daily life, visualizing success, affirming your capabilities, and reflecting on lessons learned, you create a mental environment where failure is no longer feared but welcomed as a teacher. Finally, sharing your experiences with others can accelerate growth. When you openly discuss your mistakes, you normalize failure for yourself and others, reducing shame and building a supportive network. Mentorship, storytelling, or simply exchanging lessons learned can inspire courage in others while reinforcing your own progress. Over time, you begin to see that failure is not an endpoint. It is a necessary part of a journey toward mastery, confidence, and personal empowerment. By practicing reflection, risk-taking, and mental conditioning inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy, failure transforms from an obstacle into a consistent ally. Confidence is no longer fragile or conditional. It becomes unstoppable, grounded not in luck or perfection, but in the knowledge that every misstep brings you closer to your best self. Real-life examples illustrate the power of embracing failure and turning it into confidence far more effectively than theory alone. Consider the stories of well-known figures who faced repeated setbacks before achieving success. Michael Jordan, often regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, was famously cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of allowing that rejection to define him, he used it as fuel to practice harder, refine his skills, and prove to himself that he could succeed. Each missed shot and every defeat became a lesson, shaping his resilience and determination. This same principle applies to everyday life. You don't need to be a global icon to benefit from the lessons of failure. Whether it's missing a promotion at work, experiencing a relationship setback, or failing to meet a personal goal, these experiences provide the opportunity to learn, adjust, and grow stronger. Inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy, this approach emphasizes that success is largely a product of the mind. By aligning your thoughts with possibility and learning from failure, you set the stage for unstoppable confidence. Another example comes from entrepreneurs who risk everything and fail multiple times before finding success. Thomas Edison, whose inventions transformed the modern world, reportedly failed thousands of times before perfecting the electric light bulb. Rather than viewing each unsuccessful attempt as a defeat, Edison reframed them as experiments, each bringing him closer to his goal. In a similar vein, ordinary people can apply this mindset to their personal and professional challenges. By documenting lessons learned from each attempt, adjusting strategies, and maintaining faith in one's abilities, anyone can turn repeated setbacks into stepping stones toward achievement. The common thread is intentional reflection and the conscious decision to interpret failure as guidance rather than judgment, a core teaching echoed in Dr. Joseph Murphy's work, which emphasizes the subconscious mind's role in shaping both perception and results. Taking actionable steps is equally important. Start by identifying one area in your life where fear of failure has held you back. Set a small, measurable goal that challenges you just enough to risk failing, but not so much that it becomes overwhelming. Track your progress and reflect on what worked and what didn't. Celebrate the insights gained, not just the successes. Use affirmations and visualization techniques, as Dr. Joseph Murphy recommended, to reinforce your belief in your ability to grow through challenges. By consistently practicing these steps, you cultivate mental resilience, learning to see obstacles as opportunities and setbacks as guidance. Lastly, remember that confidence built through failure is lasting. It is rooted in real experience, not external validation. Every time you encounter a setback and recover, you reinforce the understanding that you are capable, adaptable, and persistent. The more you embrace failure, the less power it holds over you, and the more freedom you gain to take bold actions in life. Over time, you develop a mindset where mistakes are no longer feared, but welcomed as teachers guiding you toward success. Inspired by the wisdom of Dr. Joseph Murphy, these practices transform the fear of failure into a pathway for growth, turning uncertainty into courage and setbacks into stepping stones. In this way, failure is no longer a barrier. It becomes the foundation for building unstoppable confidence.